that's commitment to character, right? You know what you're working with here.
A man with terrible timing and apparently a monster dog.
Listen, if that doesn't get you to read this series, I don't know what will. Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations in the hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Leyla.
And this week, we read S.A. Chakraborty's final novel in the Daevabad trilogy, Empire of Gold. We'll talk moody afshins, palace politics, and protagonists that can't ever make good decisions. Remember, you can help us on Mortified Legitimacy Quest by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and signing up for our newsletter, or following us on Twitter at MortifiedPod. Leyla, you have moments ago finished Empire of Gold. This is as close to live as a podcast can be without doing an actual live show. How about, let's see, you introduced me to the Daevabad trilogy, so how about I try to summarize it up, and then we'll just go with your feelings from here, because it was a lot.
Yeah, good fucking luck, buddy, but go for it.
Okay, so basically, Daevabad trilogy begins in, 19th century Egypt with this woman named Nari, I believe. And Nari is, your common, down on your luck thief / charlatan with, a smattering of medical knowledge. And she helps out this old man who is a potions / herbalist guy. And one day she's doing a scam that involves, exorcising a demon, supposedly. And she speaks in a language that she, just vaguely remembers from her childhood. And accidentally summons a genie / djinn / deva. We'll get into the taxonomy here in a bit. But basically, he's her family's household guardian from millennia in the past. And everything pops off in a major way, and basically she's taken to this magical world where jinn, which is genies, basically that's the real way to call them, but they're spiritual creatures, or not spiritual, but they're humanoids that also have magic, basically, and they live all over the world, but mainly the main story takes place in this great jinn city called Daevabad. And there's a lot of history that goes into that city, that basically Nari gets involved in all sorts of palace politics because apparently she is the last Nahid, which is a race or family of are the Nahids aren't devas, right? They're jinn?
No, they're devas.
They're devas. Okay, they're a race of devas that have magical, that healing magic, and they were they originally founded Daevabad, or they ruled Daevabad at some point, but then there was an uprising from the Al-Qatani family, or not the, I think, the Al-Qatani family, basically, their line, the Gezeris, which are these sand jinn, I guess, that's the easiest way to call it, and they, right, so their family is in power right now, and Nari gets involved with that family, specifically the two brothers Ali and Muntadir, and they're trying to play off this big political struggle because Ghassan, who is their father, who is the king of Daevabad, is ruling with this iron fist, and he hates he's just trying to keep everybody from all these racial and cultural and religious tensions from overflowing. And over the course of these two books, Nari gets involved and tries to figure out how to, do good, because also there's a subplot about the Shafites, who are mixed race, half jinn, half human, right? I think there's so much lore going on here. But she's trying to help them.
You're doing an admirable job.
I'm really trying. She's trying to help them. She ends up building a hospital. She ends up marrying Muntadir after Ali is potentially killed by her afshin, who we didn't even mention. Oh, shoot. Dara Yavush, who is God, I don't even know where to go with Dara. Basically, he's her guardian protector from, 3,000 years ago, and like he's been guarding her family for forever, but then he got enslaved by the Ifrits, and this is hard. This is 1,200 pages of backstory to put into one 5-minute summary. But basically, Nari gets involved with all this, and basically at the end of the previous book, Nari has to confront her mother, who she thought was dead, who is doing a coup on Daevabad to put the Nahids back in power, and she somehow made her family guardian come over to her side and help enact this coup. And then Nari and Ali had to flee the city with the Seal of Solomon, which is this magic ring that can like stop all the magic that the Jinn do. But they flee the city and they go back to Cairo, and that's where Empire of Gold opens. I think that's gonna have to do it, but oh my goodness, that it's a very good story. It's just there's so much lore and ground setting. Also, Nari got married to Ali's brother, but then Ali's brother maybe died at the end of Empire, or at the end of the second book, but he's not actually dead, and they don't know that at the beginning of the third book, and it's just there's so much tension and drama, and it's really good. And Leyla, you just finished the culmination of this series, and how are we feeling about how this book wrapped up? This trilogy wrapped up.
I mean, listen, can we just talk about real quick Queen fucking Nari? Like, I don't even know where to start plot wise. I just want to talk about Nari because can you there is this I don't even know where to begin, because like she's so fucking good. She's like this street thief from Cairo who is helping out Yaqub the apothecary, and she starts there. She summons this like hot magic guardian because an Ifrit possessed this little girl she was doing a ceremony for. I think that's what happened. So much has happened. Right. And he like saved her, and then she's like, we gotta take you back to Daevabad. And then he takes her back to Daevabad, and they make out in the cave, and then like all this shit happens. But like Nari gets to grow into like an actual Nahid healer, which is really cool because she wants to start a hospital. And like that's the general character arc Nari takes, which is about all the exposition I want to do before I start fucking calling her out. Hey, Nari, why are you so horny?
I mean, that is her main character flaw, is aggro and horny.
Yeah, I resent that. Aggro is not a fucking flaw. I love an aggro, just an angry, small woman. But Jesus H. Christ, literally, she's so horny, and is the funniest thing I've ever read in my entire life, because she's horny in the first book when she makes out with Dara in a cave one time, and then she is horny when she's traveling with Ali, and she's just like, this half-naked hot prince that's swimming in a creek that's possessed by magic he won't explain to me, and I'm just gonna stare at his ass through like white wet cloth.
Yeah, there's like a whole sequence where they're trying to escape to Tal Nitri, which is like the water kingdom, because he's also like half water prince or whatever. Point is, he's like swimming, they're on this boat, and then like he comes out of the water, and she's like, oh wow, that white linen is not covering him enough. And then like the whole because the Seal of Solomon had to be like implanted in his heart, but like it won't work unless she puts her hand on his chest. Like it's so just like, oh no, I have to touch your rippling pecs in order for the magic to work. How embarrassing. Anyway, when you were all wounded and shit, I had to change you and dress you, and you were well formed, and I mean that in the friendliest, non-romanticest way possible. But yeah, you were well formed, and Ali's just like, I can't believe you said that. I can't. I've never once thought about a sex in my life, and now I'm going to go drown myself if I could, but I can't. I
can't because I'm a water magic, and I literally can't drown.
Exactly.
But by God, if I could will it, I'd do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she just gets hornier because I feel like the more danger Nari's in, the hornier she gets. Because, like, they're in mild danger when she is mildly horny for Ali. And then, I shit you not, like, the whole water gym...
Oh, yeah, the minor
thing.
Marid that possesses him.
Yes! There's a Tempest Marid that possesses him, and he's just, like, chilling. First of all, motherfucker, hey, Nari... I'm gonna need you to get your fucking head out your vag for, like, 1 fucking second. Because he's, like, imagine this, right? You walk in a fucking beautiful Hawaiian resort hotel room where you're, like, vaguely a prisoner. It's fine. Then you see your wife standing on the balcony, and the entire time she is talking to you, she neither attempts to cover herself from a monsoon and has her eyes closed the whole fucking time. And she's just, like, a little too horny. Would you not be suspicious?
It's a little much. And also the thing is that Nari should know by now that Ali is in no way smooth, and just like the way that when he is possessed by the Marid is just like, Nari's like, oh wow, I'm really feeling this right now. It's almost as if Ali's normal personality is gone because he's actually acting like a sexual agent instead of being a big put my wiener in a prison boy.
Tempest Marie did not do any fucking research, and it worked anyway because she is so fucking horny. And then it's just like, you know, there's just moments where she's just like, I think you said it to me in DMs once where I was just like, God, I fucking hate Ali, he's so fucking annoying. You were like, you don't hate him, just like Nari finds him hot now, and I think you were fucking right. Because Nari was annoyed with Ali all the time, and I'm like, you're right, because I'll take her side anytime. But like now Nari's like, got some peekaboo linen, got some a little taste of being held in the rain, you know, pina coladas and shit. And then all of a sudden she's besotted, and I'm like, you know, maybe he's not that bad. Also, Shannon Chakraborty just does like a really great job of selling Ali to me, where I'm like, you know what? You're right. Prince Ali, generous he.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like, it's fine. He's so fucking good. She's horny. Dara's horny all the time because they made out in a cave one time. And then Ali also, even though he put his dick in a fucking religion boy prison, also horny. All these people are so horny all the time, which I don't blame them, but, like, I kind of blame them. There's a war.
Yeah, oh god, let's start with Dara and then work our way to Ali. I think your notes summarized it best, because I was like, I can't believe Dara is so just like completely in love with Nari after they met out in a cave once, like after Dara has like been alive for 3,000 years and has fucked everything under the sun. But then your note is like, that's just men. And I was like, you're not wrong.
He also fucks a dancer. He fucks a dancer and is still like, I'd still fuck Nari though. Like,
yeah, he's just like, I wish Nari was here so I could talk about my feelings. She's like, no, sir.
And also fuck her.
Oh god. Dara, I feel like, has the best character arc in this book because of the way that like it goes from him being like, I don't know, I feel bad for serving the Witch Queen now. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have joined the Witch Queen army. Maybe we're the baddies. Is what happens to Dara. And then like at the end he, you know, becomes somebody who's like, well, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life atoning for my bad deed because I'm like basically immortal. So I thought that was a very good redemption arc, and we can talk about that. But like the things that happened to Dara in between those 2 points are just like so brutal. I mean, I was alluding to this like chapter when in our DMs, but like basically like that when I was watching one of the live streams S.A. Chakraborty did to promote her book, all the readers who had already read it were like, oh no, chapter 38, and I was like, oh okay, I guess I'll have to watch out for that. And in chapter 38, Dara is like, he is brought back to life again after being murdered for like the 4th time. And he's like, oh, I don't feel so good. Why is there this fucking steampunk device strapped to my arm? Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to my witch boss. And she was like, yeah, here's the thing. I can tell that your heart's not actually in this anymore. So I'm gonna make you destroy the city. And he's like, wait, what? And then like basically the thing is, because he's a deva, because he's like an afshin, basically he's like a genie, right? Like like a traditional, like what you'd imagine genie. Like she can just be like, okay, my command is, my wish is your command, and like he becomes incredibly powerful when she like makes specific wishes. So like she just wishes for him to track down what's her name?
Zainab.
What? Oh, Zainab. Yes. She's like, hey, you need to find Zainab, and if you're going to do it, you have to start raising the city like piece by piece by piece. And also, I wish that you would not get killed while you did this. And he's like, oh no. And then like he just has to. He is compelled to destroy the city that he like once vowed not to, and like he becomes like this badass like evil warrior. And it's very heartbreaking because like he is like forced to do this war crime again, and it's just like, oh Dara, this is what you get for throwing your lot in for the bad guys. But like I thought that was a really good scene because it just showed like how his whole, you know, life comes full circle from like being enslaved by the Ifrit to being enslaved by Manyza again. Just like, oh, like I'm just another servant to a terrible master. And like I like that the Daevabad trilogy focuses on cycles and like how it's all about cycles of violence and like trying to break them, and it's really good. It's good shit.
It is incredibly good shit, but I will say, like, most of the fucking grief in these books does come from Dara making fucking terrible decisions. It is a bad decision to make out with Nari in a cave. It was a bad decision to bring her to Daevabad. It was a bad decision to let Manajay or Manyza or whatever the fuck her name is lead him. It was a bad fucking decision to come back to Daevabad, destroy it, and a bad decision to try to kidnap Nari when she was trying to fucking save everyone, and a bad decision to threaten her again. It's just bad decision after bad decision, and he's just so fucking emo about it the whole time. He's so emo 24/7. The first fucking third of the book is just him being...
Oh, shouldn't have done that, huh?
Oops, I war crimed again. I played with their relics. Like, come on, Dara! Like, fucking... He just drinks and is vaguely horny, which is the worst kind of horny. I need you to be a direct horny, but he's always just kind of like, I'm sad, so I kind of just want to hug, but it's making me horny. And I'm like, you need to, you're all over the place. I need you to focus and like sort your shit out because you're stressing me out.
It's, yeah, Dara is like the main source of bad in this whole trilogy. Well, I mean, it's actually like men in general are like sort of the problem, which I think Chakraborty does a great job with being like, hey, this whole cycle was started by kind of idiot men, and like it is continuing to be perpetuated by them, and you know, women are just reacting to the bad that's happening to them. Like Manyza wouldn't be doing this coup if she wasn't like, you know, targeted by Ghassan because of her weird bloodline, and like and then like Nari wouldn't be trying to do a counter coup if it wasn't because of Ghassan making Manyza do all this. And it's really interesting the way that like at the end they try to restore agency to women, and like there is a narrative of revolutionary like ideology about like breaking that cycle and turning it from just like men making terrible decisions to women trying to fix them, which I love.
I will say, though, the women also make fucking terrible decisions because Hatset, Ali's mom, is like, I don't care about anybody else. I will fucking let everybody drown as long as my baby boy is safe, and then also drowns because Tiamat is pissed. Like, Hatset makes terrible decisions. Manyza makes terrible decisions. Everybody makes terrible decisions. Like, yeah, the women's are reactionary, but they're all a mess because if there's anybody more at fault than like violent men, it's rich people.
That's true, right? There is a current of like, hey, it's the privileged and powerful that are fucking this up for everyone, and only the poor people suffer because of it. I mean, not only, but largely the poor people suffer. That's where we get with, you know, the destruction of the hospital and the fucking purge of the Devas by Manyza in the stadium, which is like, wow, okay, I didn't see that one coming. Where it's just like, okay, these people tried to murder my afshin, so and do a coup against me, so now I'm just gonna kill all my supporters in a stadium. That's just like, that was a lot too.
Honestly, the amount of times I have Manaiza no written in my notes, like my personal book notes, is just staggering. Like, sometimes it's just her name with, like, spaces in between, because she just does these astounding things, like, and anytime, listen, like, I know in the canon of this friendship quest that you and I have gone on, I know in my heart and in my soul and in reality that Muntadir is my quote-unquote type, like, capital T type. He's an arrogant, rich, just shitty lout. But listen to me, I don't actually care about him. I care about Jamshid, the only fucking character worth caring about in this entire fucking series. And the entire time, Muntadir was, like, imprisoned and then doing dumb shit just to show that he could, I guess. Like, how did he think a coup was gonna go? Whatever. But when he was there, I was just like, oh no. If she kills him, Jamshid is gonna be sad. And I can't let that happen. I need the gays to be okay. Because, not only because I need the gays to be okay, but also because Jamshid is literally the only character who makes okay decisions. He does make some bad ones. He did poison Dara and do a bunch of other dumb shit, but, like, he's better. He's more put together.
Yeah, no, Jamshid is the only, like, mostly faultless character throughout this whole series. He's just like, I just want to please my prince boyfriend, and also I'm getting screwed because he's putting his kingdom first, and also my sister is part of this revolutionary sect, and I guess I'm also a magic healer, and I really don't want to be. I really just want to be with my boyfriend. Oh, his eye's gone. Well, that stinks.
He's so fucking funny, too. Like, I don't know if we made this clear, because so much happens in these fucking books, but, Zainab, Ali, and Muntadir are siblings. Zainab and Ali are from one mom, Muntadir is from another. That doesn't really matter to the point I'm getting towards. Ali and Muntadir used to be really close, and Ali, if we haven't made it clear yet, is just kind of dumb. He's just stupid. He's just... Stupidest person. He's very book smart. He likes accounting. He's very, like, he was raised, to be, like, basically, when his brother is to become king, he was raised to be, like, his guard, and, very religious, very pious, like, he calls himself insufferable, so I don't feel bad calling him insufferable, just an insufferable, stupid piece of shit in the first 2 books. And,
no, he's great. You're just...
Yeah, he was insufferable. Anyway... I disagree. I honorably disagree. No, okay, nerd. So, one of the most stressful parts in the book, aside from the moment where Manaiza pockets Dara's relic, and you just know she's gonna do some shit, is Nari and her cousin Jamshid have to perform fucking open heart surgery on Ali to take a fucking ring out of his literal heart. And it's the wildest scene I've ever read, because it's literal open heart surgery. It stresses me out so fucking much. And then, because it was foreshadowed like 3 times, I'm like, something's gonna happen where she's gonna need to cut something important open, and it just happens to be Ali, who she's like vaguely, it's a lot. But so, Jamshid's whole job is to numb the pain, and keep Ali distracted. And his 2 methods of distraction are, hey, so here's 100 ways as to why you're bad at horse riding. And then the second one, which is my favorite, is like, hey, here's 1 billion times you missed that I was fucking your brother. Like, because it's true. There's even a moment where Ali walks in and they had just made out, and Ali's even like,
man, Jamshid and Muntadir are really close, huh? Wow, they must be great friends.
Yeah, and then they're both, and Muntadir in the fucking epilogue for the 3rd book is like, I'm gonna go live with my friend? And Ali's like, I'm not gonna tell him I know. It's just not gonna happen.
He'll just make fun of me.
It's an open secret for everybody else, but Ali is so fucking dumb that...
Even Ghassan, who is ostensibly they were keeping the secret from, is like, no, I'm very much aware of this, but I just don't care. God. So Ali's my favorite, because he has some qualities that I love, which are that he is a super good soldier, and he's very devoted to his ideals, and also he's completely oblivious and as you said, kind of a dumbass. Like everything he does in this book, except for like the very end, is like just a complete clusterfuck. Like at first he's like they get captured by pirates, so like now he's like, okay, well one of these pirates is like kind of into you, so you should try to seduce her. And he's like, oh, well, let me put on my moves, and then like about 5 seconds into the seduction, where he's just like, yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you, baby? Nari's just like, no, all right, this is done. I'm taking over, you idiot. And then like they're trying whenever they're lost in Cairo, like Yakub's just like, there's something fucked up with you because I know you keep phasing in and out of existence. And Ali's like, yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, do you have any books? I like books.
Well, the worst part about the fucking pirate thing that you brought up too is, like, again, we go back to how horny he is, because the pirate, to slip a knife into his waistcloth, straddles his lap and is just like pretending to be horny, and she's just like, ooh, yeah, Ali, let me just slip a fucking, is that a knife in your loincloth, or are you just happy to see me? And she deuces out, and Ali the entire time, one fucking brain cell is just like, yeah, I wouldn't mind if Nari did that to me, I don't think.
No, that's true. That wasn't exactly a line from the book. Just like, this is bad, but if it was Nari, it would be good.
By the way, she's still married to his brother.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't care. The brother fucking slept around while they were married. He was still with Jamshid half the fucking time, and she's like, I'd make out with Ali, and Ali is like, she's my brother's wife.
I would never. Also, I would, definitely. And he's just like, God. He's the perfect person to have open heart surgery on, because, like, that surgery goes so bad, it's very funny. Because Nari's like, okay, I'm a trained medical professional. I did brain surgery earlier in the book. I'm very smart. I can do this. I have magic healing powers. It's probably fine. And then as soon as like the ring gets removed, just everything goes to shit, and then Ollie's like whole like aorta is just spraying everywhere, and Jamshid's like, fuck, no, bad, oh, I'll take the ring, oh no, I'm dying, your turn, okay, fine. And just like Ollie's just like flopped on the table, just like, ow.
Squirting blood everywhere, and then the funniest line in the entire fucking book is just Nari, because once the ring gets settled and like magic kind of comes back, Nari's just like, you have to test your healing magic, Jamshid. And Jamshid's like, how? Nothing's wrong with me. She's like, we're in a room full of knives. Make something wrong with you. It's incredible.
Oh God,
Shanna Chakraborty's funnier than she has any right to be.
She's hysterical, and I think that partially comes from the fact that she's also kind of a dummy. Like, when I was watching her live stream, she talked about how, like, until, like, her agent was the person who had to inform her what a love triangle was. Like, after she had written the whole first book, she's like, wait, what's that? And she's like, and her agent's like, that's the thing you did in your book. It's a very prevalent and common trope throughout all of literature. How do you not know this? And she's like, oh, okay, oops. Like... she rules. She's such an interesting person, because she was also like a white Muslim convert to Islam, like from like I believe age 14. Like she's just like, I'm gonna be a Muslim now, and like she just like completely lived her life from that and like never looked back. And like that's such a cool, interesting like life story that she wrote this book like when she was like in a place like, you know, a lot of authors do this where they're like, I'm just writing this book to like get through a shitty job. It's like just one thing where I can steal moments for myself and like make this something that I care about. And like that's what she did, and she turned it into like a bomb ass trilogy. It's just like she turned her like love for Islam into this trilogy that also includes idiots and jinn, and just it rules so much.
It does. She has a great Twitter presence where she'll tweet like medieval recipes and she'll make them all the time. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's my dream life. Are you kidding me?
It's just, there's so many quotes, and like there's so many just like incredibly powerful lines in this whole thing. Like the one where Ollie is talking to his mom about like, because she wants him to take the throne of Daevabad and like become the new king. And she's like, you could do good stuff for the Shafit here. And he's like, do you know the best thing I did for the Shafit? I got out of their way. I got them the money and opportunities they should have always had, and then I watched them build it all. I don't believe in kings, not anymore. And like that shit slaps so hard, and like God, that's the kind of revolutionary thinking that is definitely of the moment. And I mean, you can tell that this book was written like within the past couple of years, because like this is very much dealing with like an oppressed proletariat who is like trying to deal with oppressive power structures and that'll use state violence against them. And it's just like right, there's a whole section where Ali is just like, he's thinking about how his father was, also part of a revolutionary movement once, right? The Khatanis were a part of a Muslim like revolution, basically, like very similar. I think probably. I may not. No, I don't know this for sure, but like it seems like Zaidi al-Qahtani, I believe, is the revolutionary who overthrew, who is fighting this war against the Nahids. Like it seems very similar to the campaigns of the Prophet Muhammad, like where he brings Islam to these states, and like Ali's talking about how like he, his whole line of kings had like abandoned these ideals of this revolution that had once driven them, and then like they just, because in order to maintain their power, they just like tighten their grip and start, becoming ruthless dictators, because like that's what they feel like they have to do in order to maintain power in Daevabad. It's just like I'm so glad that she brought that up, because like there's so much in fantasy, there's so much where it just goes completely unexamined. Like feudalism is just not, it's just understood to be an existing structure, and like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And like I get it if that's not the kind of story you're telling, but like it's clear that she is trying to talk about like a new democracy, a new form of government that is born out of the ashes of violent upheavals, and like that's cool, I think.
I agree. I think, yeah, there's a lot of moments where, like, you can definitely tell that there was some class resentment happening. Because this book really couldn't work with a protagonist that isn't Nari, because she was a thief in Cairo first, before she kind of realized, or got dragged into being Banu Nahida. And even then she was, like, cool with the riches for, like, 20 minutes, and then she was like, yeah, but I have these, like, dope healing powers, so, like, oh, what if I started a hospital and just gotta, like, fuck it around? Like, it's so excellent. Like, you're right, the fucking power structures don't often get examined, but when they do, especially in this book, it's so interesting, because you don't get this, like, lofty, necessarily examination of, like, feudal power structures, but you're getting, like, these bitches, this is a family drama. I think even, like, when Nari lands in Daevabad to go fucking kill her mom, I guess, when she lands, she's like, gotta go take care of an old family argument. I was like, that's what these books are. Mm-hmm. It's just a family drama, and it happens to murder thousands of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big soap opera.
It is. It's what Star Wars wishes it was.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
There's another thing that Carter said, that he's like a priest. Oh, I can't talk at all. He's a priest in Daevabad that Dara kind of has counsel with a couple of times, when he's like just dipping his toes into the waters of rebellion. When he's just like, hey, my boss lady might be crazy. Maybe I should go talk to some other people. But Cartier says, sit with this burden, Dari. You may find doing so easier than holding it over your head and waiting for it to crush you. That hit so hard. And especially in a series where, like, we've been waiting for 2 books to be like, is he gonna die, or is he gonna be able to redeem himself? Because we meet Dara as, like, the scourge of Kizi? I don't...
Kizi or something like that, basically?
Sure. But, yeah, he basically, like, his whole thing is, like, I'm a war criminal, and then he commits, like, more war crimes. Like, it's such a delicious thing to, like, lead up to his, we end with him in the, hey guys, Dara here, like, beginning of his redemption arc. We don't get to see him redeemed. We get to see him make the decision to become redeemed, and I think that's an interesting place to leave it, because I don't think it would have been satisfying if him and Nari and Ali just all kind of held hands and were like, we're all cool now. Like, everyone's still dealing with some shit when we leave them. And I think examining that, putting that human quality on top of, like, a leadership structure that we only ever study as, like, this abstract thing that was meant to be is good and interesting. And also, again, they're funny. They're funny people. Moonchinger is funny.
The humor in these books does not go, like, it does so much to deal with the mood. Like, that's the problem with a lot of like grimdark fantasy, is that there's just like not enough jokes, and you really need like that dialogue and that sense of humor in order to make it bearable. R.F. Kuang does the same thing. Like, there's always just like, you know, descriptions of like terrible battles and you know, killing fields, but like, you know, there's also like moments of levity just like popped in there in the middle, and it's just like, that's I don't know. I want to be a writer in many ways, but also like it just seems like women write better books. I don't know. Maybe that's just the things that I've been reading, but everything is just so it's so hard to compare any other literature to you know, R.F. Kuang and S.A. Chakraborty, because they do everything so good.
I think the problem is that a lot of, and this is just a gross generalization, this isn't necessarily always true, but I think the problem is that male authors think their ideas are so fucking important that they'll write 3 books of boring lore, and women will step aside for their characters and just let them be funny.
That's true. Like, there's not, like, the lore, you do get the lore, but it does, like, come out naturally over the course of, like, 3 books, right? It's not dumped all there in the beginning. Like, that's my main problem. Like, I have yet to read a Django Wexler book because, like, the introductions are just like, here's 100 nouns and you have to learn, and you don't know what any of them mean. And I was like, that's right, and I never will. Goodbye. You know, no shade to Mr. Wexler. I just, you know, maybe one of those days I'll get through your books, dog, but, like, I can't. Like, the way S.A. Chakraborty opens, it's like, this is Egypt. You know where that is. You know what a thief is. Like, you know what genies are, roughly, and, like, these books are just so well done, and they are just a delight. They're a masterclass in both storytelling, character arcs, and world building. Chef's kiss. God. Then there's this one part at the very end where, like, that I think, like, really sums up Nari's whole character arc, which is like, she's been captured by the Ifrit, right? Because as it turns out, Manaiza's not actually her mom; she's her aunt. And like, but she also knows Nari's true name, which is a trope in genie stories, right? If you know their true name, you can control someone. So Nari is not actually her name at birth, right? She was just pulled from the river, so that's why they called her Nari. But like, this Ifrit, it's like, oh, hey, here's actually your real name, and it's something that begins with a G. And then Nari's like, you've trapped me, and I can't do anything because you know my true name. But then like she's like, no, that's not me. Whatever this was in the past, this isn't me. My name's Nari, and it's just like she just chooses to like make her own identity, like the thing that she was before all of this, like doesn't matter because it's not her and her experience, and the fact that she's like, I choose my own name, and this name that you have doesn't have power over me because that's not me. Like, that rules so hard.
Yeah, and this is an uncharacteristic from the woman who told her sort of fish man boyfriend that was just like, hey, I know you're going to see like an ancient sea god, and there's like 0 chance that you're gonna come back alive from this, but like, you need to promise me you're gonna come back. And it's not one of those things where it's like, you promise me you'll come back, and he's like, I will, and then like they both know that he's not coming back. She's like, no, this bitch is coming back. He's coming. He promised me. He owes me a fucking debt, and I don't forget debts. And this is the same bitch who stood at the edge of the ocean. She looked out to it, and she goes, I'll fucking kill you. That is a line from the book. She says, I will kill the ocean. What a fucking queen. I love her. She is the best. She has so many excellent one fucking liners in this book. Aside from the basically telling her brother to stab himself just to fucking test if their magic works. Like, she's excellent all the time. My favorite Nari character arc moment is when she goes to the bazaar in after she gets captured by after she becomes like palace prisoner. But I think her and Zainab go to the market, and she steals an orange, even though she's like a princess, like wealthier than 99% of everybody in the world. She's like, nah, I'm stealing this orange though. Just for the thrill of it.
It's in my blood.
And I fucking love her for it. She's a fucking delight. Oh my god. You're right. It's such a powerful character arc, and it's so good. And like the nice thing about this trilogy is we've gotten to spend all this time with these characters so that when they start fucking up really, really bad after chapter like 35, it hurts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. None of the characters' motivations don't make sense. Like, you get why Ali's mom is like, no, I've lost everything, I won't lose you. You get why Nari's like, I'm caught in all these struggles, but like I feel like more in touch with who I really want to be over the past 5 years than when I was in Egypt. Like, I feel like I can do something to make this right. And you get why Ali is so sexually confused and frustrated, and also just like wants the best for his family. It's just like everything is so good.
Do you know what I appreciate about Ali's sexual confusion? And I'm... what a sentence. I appreciate that when they do finally make out, he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but she seems into it, so I'm just gonna keep going. And that, my boy, my son, that's brave. Because I come from a land of Dragon Age where there is this other religious, sexually repressed man. His name is Cullen, and like... Listen, there's going to be people 20 years from now when we're super famous that re-listen to these episodes and they're like, oh my god, I'm just going to talk about Cullen. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Cullen. I have to because I put too much work into him. He starts out as a priest, not a priest, but like a religious warrior, a Templar.
Yeah, I'm filling out my Leyla Mamedova bingo card as we speak.
No, fuck you. So he's just kind of pretty and dumb. Well, he's not dumb, but he's just pretty and, like, super devoted to his cause. And then he gets basically super traumatized, taken advantage of. And then, over the course of 2 games, there's all this shit that happens to him. And he's, like, kind of a war criminal. It's a lot. And in the 3rd book, all of a sudden, he's, like, the commander of your religious army for some godforsaken reason. And he's just got this, like, soft daddy ooh-woo aesthetic about him that I hate. And there's a moment, if you choose to romance him, I did. Because I was committed to him. I love him. Even though he's a terribly written character, but whatever. Full shade. So, there's a moment where, like, your Bioware romances are structured as such. You talk, you fuck. That's it. That's your Bioware romance. And so, after all the talking... Yeah, there's a lot. After we do all the talking, there's just this moment where your character's, like, standing in the corner of the room, just, like, making eyes... And then Cullen just, like, tells everyone, the meeting ends or whatever, and he tells everyone to fuck off. And then he turns into, like, the suavest motherfucker I've ever seen. And, listen, Aaron, hey, buddy, pal, listen. I am at this point effectively, like, oh my god, what is it called? I'm a Dragon Age fucking archaeologist. I fucking dig up lore, I take it, I make it my own. This man, who pushes the main character, who has to be a woman, Natch, over the table, and then they fuck, presumably. This is before they got too bold, and showed, like, full thrusting, Andromeda. There's no way, on this planet Earth, or that one, that man has ever seen a titty. Ever. I fucking have written essays about this. I will stand by my assessment. And for some reason, Rico fucking Templar Suave is just like, hey, I'm suddenly hot and horny now, and I know exactly what I'm doing. And your character's just like, fuck yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's fucking tempest of lovemaking. I appreciate that Ali was just like, she's hot. Apparently, I'm well-formed. You know, we're making out. She's making noises. It's fine. Whatever's happening is fine. And then he's just like, I'm gonna ruin it because that's what I do. And you know what? I appreciate that. I really do.
That's commitment to character, right? You know what you're working with here.
A man with terrible timing and apparently a monster dog.
Listen, if that doesn't get you to read this series, I don't know what will.
Honestly, it's so human and it's so funny because, like, it's messy. Me and Marie Kondo have one thing in common. We love mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody has no complications in this series, and everybody, trashes themselves in the process, but like, yeah, it's a great, it's just a great, I'm so glad that you introduced this to me, because like, I've had, you know, I cherish the moments in a story whether it's a video game or a book or a podcast where like a moment happens and I'm just like, oh my god, or oh shit. And like when I was reading whatever the second one was, where the ring breaks and like with like the genocide poison, I like immediately DM'd you and I was like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, it's gonna go so bad from here. Because like I had that moment, and like this is another book that's just like full of like, oh no, he's gonna meet his great grandmother who is Tiamat. And like, oh no, oh no, they turned the genie into a killing machine again, and he's destroying the hospital that his you know, long lost love built with her bare hands. Like, this is all so wrong. Just like, it's full of great moments. There's, even if we've thoroughly spoiled it for you at this point, like, it is still a completely worth reading because it's such a great trilogy.
There's no way to spoil it because I guarantee you, if fucking anybody who hasn't read these books listens to this podcast, are going to be like,
incomprehensible.
This episode will be completely wild to you. The only thing that could possibly make sense is Monster Dog.
I'm just gonna that's what our stinger for this episode is gonna be. Just a compilation of you saying Monster Dong and horny. Yes. Wow. I don't know that there's anything else we can talk about that's gonna beat that.
No, I'm like just chock full of yerba mate, and I like needing to process a lot of emotions about siblings.
Oh, great. Well, anyway, read this series. Leyla, where can people find you on the internet?
I am at LEYLSES on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. Read my comic I've done it again. Read my comic, astralheartcomic.com. It's good.
You can find me at AaronSXL on Twitter. You can follow my other podcast at MBMBF and me. Hopefully, next week we will talk about not the Kirk Cameron, but the Nicolas Cage Left Behind, which I expect will be a treat. Also, just a reminder, it'll be next week when you're hearing this, we will be talking about our feelings cast of R.F. Kuang's The Burning God, which I am so excited to talk about. I am 80% of the way through that book, and it's all ramping up. There's so much tension. It's just like, oh, when's it gonna break? And, oh boy, it's gonna be a good time. But yeah. Significantly
fewer references to phalli, I hope.
So far, yes. Yeah.
Great, because I don't think I can handle more than one.
Alright, great. Put that in your Tinder bio.
God.
Oh, alright. Well.
Quote us out.
Alright. I suggest you leave before our Banu Nahida stabs you.